point I'm making is that if you are taking something from somebody, you have to acknowledge that you took it from them. There are several ways of putting that into the story so that whoever is reading can know. According to this, a Joy FM report said this, you are being fair. The intention to attribute it to wherever it came from originally is always noticeable in that context. But if you seek to pass off somebody's genuinely acquired, work after so much effort as your own, I'm sorry, that is dishonest. And it's ethically indefensible.
And the way we treat press releases, even as professionals, is an indication of the fact that even us as journalists don't appreciate the extraordinary opportunity we have to be journalists. We don't see it. We write stories we are not proud of. If you don't attach pride to what you do it anyhow. You take your story and show to somebody and you don't even feel shy. Because you don't know what you have written. We have 135 years experience of journalism sitting in this room talking about something that a cub reporter would have mastered just after 2 months in the newsroom. Tells you that the problem is deep-seated. And that is why I keep saying that somebody tells me there is a lot of investment in journalism training in this country, and I tell him all the money is going down the drain the wrong way.
So now, how do we evaluate our sources? But sometimes not every info sent out by a verified account is true. So you still need to do some extra checks. By that, find out when the account was created. In this case, if it's also from another person, find out when the account was created. You can analyze their network. By this, find out who they are following and who is following them. It can help measure the level of authenticity of what they have put out there. Again, analyze their content. What do they normally put out there? This is how the advanced search for Twitter looks like. And you can key in specific words. You can key in the hashtag if there is one. And you can key in the accounts of people and even add locations and dates to help figure out if really something like that is happening within a region, and then follow up with the accounts in there to verify this thing.
Your pitch must contain assertions on what you intend to achieve with your story. So if I'm an editor and you pitch a story to me, I look for some of these elements in your hypothesis. Does it address a problem? Is it going to solve a problem? What will be the effect of this story when you write it? This is even before you start putting flesh to the pitch. Because the editor must be convinced that there is a good story in there. And once you do all these things, you must also bear in mind the audience of the news platform, organization, newspaper you are pitching the story to. How many of you know a magazine called STEP?
Yes.
Good. Who are the audience of STEP magazine? Christian youth.
If to get a good pitch, there has to be a news spec. Something, topical should be connected to what you are talking about. That is not to say that if a news pitch does not have a news spec, so it's not good. I'm not saying that, but for the most part, you are trying to look at issues that are connected either remotely or directly to something that is happening or has happened very recently. The NPR story was when the issue of immigration was very topical in the UK before the elections.
Looking at your story, it means you were quite resources.
Yeah.
In her case, which I'm quite familiar with. Even if you go to the newsroom, you don't even have a telephone line.
When you go out, it's just on your own. Whether motorbike or you have to pay everything. What can she do in a newsroom which is not resourced?
The rules surrounding the world in which we live have a universal outlook. Journalism in America is no different from journalism in the UK. The principles are the same. The cultural context might vary, just as we have in Tamale and Accra. But the principles are mainly the same. We have to strive to deepen our knowledge about our profession.
If you go to an event and there is none, generate a hashtag. So it could be hashtag meet the press, but ensure that the hashtag isn't in use. If it is in use, your followers might not follow the event, because there will be interactions from other users of the hashtag.
We tell stories for people to see the situations. When people see the situations, it's in their mind. And you are able to make impact because they see the situation.
I think we've had a very interesting and exciting 2 days here. It's been great for me to get to know the journalists up here, to hear about the things that they're reporting on, and for us to have these discussions about what it means to be a journalist and how do you go beyond the press release and dig for the real story that might be behind it, and what's the responsibility for fact-checking and for asking those questions so that when you present a story to your audience, you're giving them a balanced, fact-based story that will help them understand whatever issue it is that you're reporting on.
I think this program is quite a good one because looking at the participants, it has been useful to us. Most of us are news editors, most of us are new on the job, and I think it's kind of an eye-opener for most of us. But I have a particular problem. I was expecting that this program would travel a little far so that we'll get all that we need. So if indeed it was not so, then I'm expecting that the U.S. Embassy and then the News Bridge Africa, the organizers, will take note of that and ensure that with immediate effect, they give us a top-up. For the first time, I'm tweeting, I didn't know how to, go about it. I've heard of it, but I didn't know how to tweet. Today, I have the experience, and I'm now on the Twitter platform.
I believe this workshop has been educative. When I heard the word pitch, I thought about how I could come to this workshop, possibly get some ways of how I can write my stories, how I can possibly be able to pitch my story so that I can be able to tackle some of the challenges affecting the region. I believe as I'm leaving back, I can be able to write better stories that will help develop the region.
This program has been so good to me, and I'm hoping that anytime I'm writing my story, I'll know how to pitch, I'll know how to address all the, I'll know how to punch holes in all the story I do. So I'm sure this program will go a long way to help me build up my skills in writing my stories.
This program has been a very excellent one. It's been on time because we have an upcoming presidential and parliamentary elections. So in all, I would say the program has been timely. The facilitators have been good, and we hope you will come back again because we need it. But my main point is the next time you may come back, it should be an engagement with the media owners, because most of them are creating a lot of challenges for us here in the north, with the fact that they put up the radio stations to make money or for political gains. So they hardly pay attention to the structures. And a house that has no structure, I don't think it can stand. So the next time you come, it should be for the radio station owners to also get such an excellent, education as we have gotten as a people. And from what I have learned, I usually didn't pay attention to press releases. I actually don't like taking news out of press releases because when they come, they are already written and all that. But I've learned that behind every press release, there is actually a story to tell. From now on, I'm going to have a critical eye for a press release and make sure that I catch up with the story behind that press release.
This training has come at a time we've been struggling to write compelling stories. I'm sure with the pitching of stories training we had yesterday, it's going to help us tell very compelling stories that will help change the situation of our people from rural communities where we get our stories from.
I think the training has been excellent. It was timely because especially the social media aspect, because most of the times we only use the social media just for fun. We don't actually know the value of social media. So I think everything about it was perfect. The facilitators, they all knew what they were about. They had enough knowledge on the topics they are supposed to take us through, and they did due diligence to each topic.
I think this program has been one of the best media training programs I've ever attended since I started practicing journalism 4 years ago. Here we're taught pitching. It was my first time of hearing the word pitching and getting to understand and know what pitching is. It also gave me the opportunity to learn from my colleagues, the challenges they face, what are the issues that confront us in our field that makes our work difficult. From the facilitators, we also learned how we can improve on our work, the things that we do that are not ethical and we ourselves sometimes think we can compromise what we actually need to stand on and stand for as journalists. So for me, it has been a marvelous and wonderful program, and I wish that this program, if it could be repeated times often, it will help us build our capacity much better and it will improve our work.
And this training workshop that has been brought to the North, it's going to be of immense benefit to we those who are doing the work down here. We've gotten to know more about our profession and how we're actually supposed to do it and do it much better. We've learned various aspects of journalism, and right from here, we are going to endeavor, or we are going to ensure that we implement what we learned here in some of our activities or some of our work that we'll be carrying out there. So I would urge Newsbridge, I'll urge Ghana Business News.com, I'll urge American Embassy that they should try as much as possible, if they can, to replicate this kind of media training workshop in this part of our country. I would say that on most occasions we are being invited to programs, but then we don't get programs of this sort to equip us, to resource us very well, so that we'll be able to do our work much better, and just like we are being expected as professional journalists. I'm proud I was part of the 2-day training workshop, and I pledge on my honor that I would endeavor to inculcate all that I learned here in my profession to make it a better one. Thank you very much.